Interview, take one. Ready and begin. So, what year did this happen?
I think 2006.
2006?
2005, 2006.
2005, 2006. Do you remember the season?
It was summer.
Summer? Okay, you want to describe the events of what happened, what led up to the thing that you saw that day?
Sure. As I turned around to walk towards you, I felt like a cold rush run through me. And I was like, no. You know, as a kid, you're just thinking like, no, this is not real. Dark burnt skin, blood eye, and everything was frozen. I was frozen still. I couldn't yell. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. And then my ears popped.
Would you describe his hat to be like a cowboy hat or sombrero? What would you
I
describe
would
it
say
as?
cowboy's hat.
Cowboy's hat?
Almost like a flat, just a flat type of hat. Just really pointy.
Alrighty. Interview, take one. Ready and begin. So, what year did this happen?
I think 2006.
2006?
2005, 2006.
2005, 2006. Do you remember the season?
It was summer.
Summer? Okay, you want to describe the events of what happened, what led up to the thing that you saw that day?
Sure. So it started off with the day. I think our parents went somewhere. Not sure where they went to, but it was me and you at home alone. You were playing games, and I was in the living room, I think, with our fish at the time, crayon that we had at the time. And well, it ended up that we had this living room that connected to our kitchen with two double doors that I closed, and I remember closing those doors, playing with them. I remember them vividly because we'd always get our fingers stuck in them, or just messing around with them. Well, I closed these doors, and then as I turned around to walk towards you, I felt like a cold rush run through me. And I was like, no. As a kid, you're just thinking like, no, this is not real. You don't think it's something that happens. And then the doors slam open, and it caught my attention. And I turn around, and I hear a faint, like, knocking on the back door. And I was just like, well, maybe they're coming through the back door, and maybe they just went around something, because the parents used to pull up the van all the way to the back, because we would do barbecues back there. Well, I went to the back door. Oh God! I went through the back door, and the knock again happened once this time, and it was lighter than the other first two knocks. So I went to the back door, and I still don't know how to this day I got to reach that peephole because I was so little. They called me midget for a reason, and I remember looking through that peephole and seeing a dark, burnt guy. A shadow man, dark burnt skin, blood eye, and everything was frozen. I was frozen still. I couldn't yell. I couldn't breathe. I couldn't speak. And then my ears popped, and it was just like a deep type of noise in my ear. I guess you'd call it a white noise. A white noise through my ear, and I remember being there for what felt like a long period of time. Until I finally got the courage to move. I was so scared that I almost peed. That's how scared I was. I guess I was just, I was a kid. I was scared of that. And I remember as soon as I was let go of whatever was, I guess, a trance over me, I remember running back to you, yelling. I was yelling, petrified, screaming, Nico, 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 there's someone at the door. There's someone at the door. And I remember you getting up, and then moments later, not even moments later after me yelling and freaking out, our parents walk into the front door and begin this search for this dark guy that was in the back of the door. And I felt like I was crazy for a moment of time. And it wasn't until later that that story was actually clarified with our uncle, who saw the same person that later that night outside our home, and nobody was even home for that. Nobody was there. We were at our grandmother's, and my parents were at the hospital at the time, so we weren't there. And it turns out that my uncle described this person the same way, and I didn't describe this person to anybody. I just told him it was a dark guy at the back of the door. I didn't know how to explain it. I didn't know how to say it. I already felt crazy because nobody was there. So I didn't say anything, and it wasn't until later that our uncle verified how this person looked, and it ended up being the same person that I saw earlier that day.
Can you give a description of that person as well as you can?
Oh yeah, God. I guess you would say like almost burnt charcoal skin. I only saw the portion of this side of this piece, and almost like I guess his eye was popped out. No bridge to the nose. No bridge, just a long extension of what I assumed was a nose, and no eyebrows. Just a flat like surface, almost like a rectangle face. It was very creepy, very weird. And the thing that I can remember the most was his eye, that bloody eye. It was weird. Yeah.
Did you get a good look at what he was wearing?
Yeah. He was wearing I guess you would explain like a hat, some sort of a hat with a coat. And I remember seeing him as he walked away from the door and exited our back gate, and I knew that somebody was there because when we opened the door, that back gate was open to the alley. So I know for a fact that I saw somebody there. I guess I was just too little to remember, or too scared to open the door, and I'm glad I did it.
Would you describe his hat to be like a cowboy hat or a sombrero? What would you describe
I would
it
say
as?
cowboy's hat.
Cowboy's hat?
Almost like just a flat type of hat. and just really pointy. And Zito, I only saw the back of him.
And his coat, what would you say? Was it like a trench coat, a cowboy coat,
trench
or
coat.
a trench coat?
Yeah, all black. Nothing was detailed. Nothing was shown. Just the black.
Black. Did he have legs, or you just saw like
I just saw
featureless
nothing. Yeah, no features, no details, no
details?
Nothing like that was attached to it.
Hello everyone, I hope you enjoyed that Halloween special. That was my brother. He's hosted for that narration for that one night. It's actually going to be a new experiment that I'm coming up with for season 2. My brother was the guinea pig for this. In fact, I wanted to announce a whole new project for that, but in one moment I'll go ahead and continue. For now, I'd like to show you exactly what my brother had described, and I also like to propose a contest. At contest, I would like all of you to go ahead and draw what you think that you can imagine that you see that my brother was describing. I want you to be able to give your own imagination to what he basically described in his narration, his story. Because to me, I tried my best. I will show you the drawing that I did, and I hope you guys like exactly what I put up. Till now, please, if you can, I'll be putting the link on the description, and I'll show you on Facebook to go ahead and message me and send me your pictures on that Facebook group. That Facebook group is going to be called Green Craze TV / Valley Midnight. So that way you guys can get in contact with me and present your pictures and try to see if you could win the contest. The winner of that contest, in fact, will be the first person whose story I will tell personally. All you have to do is, once you win that contest, same way that my brother had did this little experiment, I'll basically tell your story. You give me your details, you give me what happened to you, you just tell me exactly as much detail as possible to your experience that you had, whether it was you or somebody else that you experienced. Just tell me and I'll tell you your story on this channel. Till now, let me show you exactly what I drew in comparison to what my brother had described during the little story. For now, this is what I drew. This is the description that he had given. So far, my brother is actually quite shocked when I drew it, and he had chills running down his spine when he saw it. So hopefully you guys could possibly, well, I guess, traumatize my brother a little bit further on this channel and give your description as what I found to be called the Hat Man. That Hat Man, as my brother saw it, apparently is not just here in the valley, but in many other places in the United States. And I want you in this contest to try and draw your best on what your description of the Hat Man you may give. So I hope all of you give your best shot and try to become the winner for the second season of Valley Midnight and be the first person to be submitted into the story of episode 1 of that channel. Till then, I am your host, Nick, and this is Valley Midnight. Grab your drinks and put your legs up.